Ahoy hoy, good morning, good afternoon and good evening YouTube, what's going on? It's your boy Joey Does Tech and welcome yourselves back to a brand new video. I purchased an Xbox One on eBay for £35.49, which is fairly cheap. I'd say this probably equivalates to around about $45 to $50. But once again, Joey, what's the actual issue with it? I'd love to tell you, but on the listing, it literally states, this listing is for a faulty Xbox One console. The condition, the console is not working, so selling as faulty spares repairs, please see the photos. Apart from there being like a sticky residue on the top of the console, there's not really much to go by in the photos. What I will say is that in the listing, it looks as if though the warranty sticker is intact. However, when I show you in a second, the warranty sticker is in fact ripped apart. I don't know if you can see, but somebody has taken this console apart before. In a previous video, I actually repaired another faulty Xbox One. The issue with that one was that the hard drive was completely kaput. So what I done was took out that hard drive and put in another hard drive from a broken console I had before. Lo and behold, it started working. Because of that, I have since bought a SATA to USB 3.0 cable, and I've also bought a Toshiba 500GB hard drive, so that in the event of having one of these Xboxes with a faulty hard drive, I've got some backup, because I now don't have any spare hard drives. So this is a brand new one. And the reason I bought this is just for complete ease. It's so much easier to put in a USB into my computer and hook it up to the hard drive rather than taking my PC apart and putting a hard drive in my PC. This means that we can also check the health of a disk as well. So if I'm not too sure if the fault is to do with the hard drive, I can quickly plug it in, run a few tests. Bob's your uncle. I think that's enough of the jibber jabber. Let's head over to the desk for some visual inspection and see exactly why. I don't know if this turns on. I have no idea. I'm clueless when it comes to this Xbox because it doesn't state what the fault is on the listing. We could be in for a real surprise here. Wish me luck. So for those who are wondering and might be new to the channel, what tools do I actually need to get inside an Xbox One? A trusty screwdriver, ceramic tweezers, and a prying tool. Lo and behold, the Xbox One in question. This is the line of stickiness that I was talking about. I don't know what residue that is. It feels like almost feels like a tape, I guess. And then you can see also on the back that we have the sticker that is kind of open already. You will be able to see that in a second when I take it apart. The actual condition of the Xbox isn't horrendous. It's not massively dirty. There's a couple of scratch marks and stuff on the front, but again, not horrendous. I've definitely seen a lot worse. And here's the other side of this one as well. There's not really that many scratch marks either, so we're okay. And then we have the bottom, the underlying side of the console, which seems to be absolutely fine. And I think port-wise, I think we're looking okay. So the HDMI port doesn't seem to be overly damaged. There's a little scratch mark here, which might indicate that somebody was trying to wiggle it about or something, but all of the other ports look absolutely fine. So without further ado, let's try and get into this Xbox One. So the first thing we're going to do is remove this grill, and to do that, you just put up on the side here, edge around very, very slowly, and pop it off. Easy as that. Next, you want to remove the sync button. I actually forgot to do this on the last video that I've done. Lovely. Now we're going to pop this part here. To do that, push down and away. Rotate the Xbox. And as you can see now that the warranty sticker has been opened previously, and then we're going to go to all of the clips on the Xbox. There it is. And then just make sure that this side is all open as well, which it is. I'm just going to put it flat. And we're going to slowly get it over the clip at the front and have a look-see inside. Before we actually get into it, I'm out here assuming that it just doesn't work. So let's rewind a second and let's just see if it actually turns on. We should try that first, definitely. All right, so first off, does it turn on? I've got a working power brick here. I know this works because I've tested it on multiple Xbox Ones. Is this going to work? Let's find out. The HDMI cable is also plugged in and it links up to this TV here. Here we go. We have power. Do we have anything on the screen? It's just turned off. I can hear disc spin. Is it just going to turn off again? And it just turns off. Interesting. I actually have no idea why it will be doing that. Hopefully it's not the CPU, because I've heard reports, I think, on the PS4 where the PS4 turns on, or it might be even the Xbox One S. The Xbox One S can turn on. If it turns off again briefly after turning it on, sometimes it could be a CPU issue. I hope that's not the case with this one. So let's continue taking it apart. I'm gonna actually rotate this onto its back, and I'm gonna show you guys real quick, as I do in every video, how to remove the ribbon cable, just in case we have anyone who's new here. So here we have the ribbon cable that holds, this is what powers the Xbox on, and also does the eject, and I'm pretty sure the sync button as well. So what we're gonna do is just pull, oh wait a minute, we're gonna pull up on the, usually I'd say we're gonna pull up on the blue ribbon, but this actually looks like it's come away from the board. I'm just trying to get this blue bit of ribbon here over this front connector, but I can't seem to do it. Okay, I've done it from this side, which should give us a bit more leverage on this side. There we go, that's better. And then we can just undo the hooks. Never seen it like that before. Oh, it doesn't look like we can. Why is that then? I'm gonna go for my other prying tool and just see if I can squeeze it in there, pry it out. That was a nightmare to get out that one. Okay, so now that's loose, let me just have an actual check of this connector and make sure that it's all good. The state of this ribbon cable seems to be fine. It doesn't look like it's in bad condition. It was just really tough to pull out. Can you see how that comes up off of the board? That is very strange. So I feel like that was kind of damaged a little bit. Now on further investigation, I can see that so this is the Wi-Fi and Bluetooth antenna. This is actually not screwed in. So usually you'd have two screws here and here. Oh, the screws are here. Wait, what's happened here? So let's get a little bit deeper. So I'm just gonna disconnect the antenna wire from the front motherboard or daughter board. And the same with the speaker as well. That seems to be fine. It makes a noise, that was all good. Let's pop the hood. For me, just as an FYI, T10 seems to fit the best for these screws. I'm just going to unhook the front panel so I can hook that up to the front motherboard again, just so we can power it on and test it whilst I've got everything out. I'm not going to plug a HDMI in, I just want to see what's going on. Okay, so I'm turning it on now. It's turned on, the light's very, very bright. There's no fan spin though. Oh, there we go. What just flew out? I think it was a bit of dust. Why would an Xbox turn on and then turn off? Let me unplug the hard drive and just see what happens then. If you try and power on an Xbox without a hard drive, it doesn't actually display on the screen. But what I want to check and see is that if this just stays on, because then at least we know that it might be a hard drive fault. You see what I'm saying? It's still turned off. It's just turned off again. So I don't actually think it's anything to do with the hard drive, which is interesting. Now we head to YouTube. Before I dive into this deeper, I'm just going to disconnect the disk drive and try it again. Maybe something is shorting, which is then turning off the Xbox after I tried to turn it on. So let's try again. I've now removed the disk drive, but the hard drive is still in. I've just powered the Xbox on. Just turn off again. Okay. What I'm also going to do is plug in the speaker. This is going to help me determine, I can't remember if I heard it turn off or whether there's like a beep and it turns off or whether it just turns off. Maybe it's something to do with this front daughter board. So it turns on. Just trying to see whether it's the actual console that's turning itself off or whether it just shuts down. See, that's made a turning off noise, which kind of makes me think that something is turning off the Xbox. I didn't put the disk drive in, so I'm just going to try again. I know it's probably not going to make a difference. But again, this is just helping me determine whether it's turning itself off or whether it's like I think it might be a button thing at the front, you know, and it turns off. I'm just going to take off this front motherboard here and inspect it and see if there's anything that could be dirty or rusted that is actually turning off the button. I don't think that's the case, but it's worth a check. And to remove this front motherboard, it should just be, I think it's a T9. This is a T9 that fits, so we'll say T9. Now off the face of it, it looks fine, right? I can't see any issues personally. The solder contacts down here look clean. They don't look like dry joints or anything like that. The only thing is like what I said before, how this kind of comes up off of the board, and it's quite annoying how it's not straight. You see that? That's probably a better view there, look. What I'm gonna do is take a front panel from another Xbox that I have and just test that to see if that resolves the issue. We'll start with the real simple things first before we dive straight into the motherboard. All right, so this is the one that I have from the donor board, and as you can see, this is completely flat with the board, this one. This one isn't actually as clean as the other one. I don't know what this is. It might be just previous flux from factory or something. But yeah, we're going to give this one a go and see what happens, see if we get the same problem. And it's just turned off again. So it doesn't seem to be this front motherboard. We're slowly ruling out the different issues here. Whilst I'm here, I think it would be a good idea to try a different hard drive, because why not? I know that I've already kind of proved that it does the same when the hard drive isn't plugged in, but you never know. All right, new hard drive has been put on. So do we get anything? Does it still turn off after a couple of seconds? Let's find out. It turns on, that's good news. We get fan spin, that's also good news. Do you stay on? It's staying on. I don't know if you guys can see the light on my finger down the bottom right. It's staying on. Let me plug in the HDMI and see if I get an image on the screen. If I do, I'm going to be very shocked, by the way. The Xbox is staying on. Do I get an image on the screen? Oh my God. We've gone back over to phone cam. As you can see, the Xbox is on. And we have an E105 error on the Xbox. So I've just plugged in an Xbox controller just via USB because the antenna and stuff isn't hooked up. So I'm just going to see if this works. So I'm going to go troubleshoot and I'm going to go reset this Xbox to factory default settings. Remove everything. Now, as I remember, I think E106 error, which is a video that we had previously, had to completely reformat and use a USB to upload software to the Xbox. Okay, so we seem to have now an E102 error. So what I'm going to do is take the memory stick that has the Xbox One software. I'm going to put the USB stick into the Xbox and I'm going to do an update offline. So to do that, I'll go into troubleshoot and then offline system update in the top right, which is the one that's like here. But because I don't have the USB in at the moment, it's not going to work. I've tried a couple of times now to reset the Xbox, but I've ended back up on E102. And there you have it. You can see that the offline system update option is now available. So I'm just going to click on that now. Oh, I've never seen that before. E101, it's failed straight away. You see that? I'll go continue. I'll go offline system update. Boom. Okay, interesting. Let me turn it off, turn it on, see if that works. All right, here we go again. Troubleshoot and then offline system update. What happens? Ah, straight to E101 still. All right, so I've tried a couple of things. I've put two different USB sticks in. One of them contains the file for OSU 1, which I believe is for more recent Xbox builds. And then I've got OSU 2 on a different USB memory stick. And I think that's more for the original Xbox ones. Neither of them seem to be working. As soon as I go to offline update, as you can see, it goes straight back to error code E101. I've also tried on multiple occasions the resetting the Xbox to restore the factory default, but it's just not having it. So I'm a little bit stuck at the moment. Don't forget, this is with a brand new hard drive as well. So I'm using Andrew Paul's video here. When you purchase a brand new hard drive, like it should come with nothing on it. And when you plug it into your PC, like there shouldn't be all these partitions and stuff. So I need to basically clean the disk. I'll put his video link on how to do this in the description. But you basically go to command prompt, you type in disk part. Then you're going to say list disk. Disk 9 is the one that we need. So I'm going to select disk 9 and I'm going to hit clean. Succeeded in cleaning the disk. And supposedly now with the disk management, as you can see, it says disk 9 and it says not initialized. So hopefully this will be all good for Xbox One. So let me try that process again. When it comes to the actual hard drive itself, I've plugged it into the PC and I've tried it two separate ways. I've tried formatting and I've also tried to just keep it as an unallocated disk, which says, according to videos, that it should be fine. And that hard drive that I've purchased is brand new, so I don't think that is the fault, considering that we now actually have an image on the screen, whereas before we didn't. Okay, it's very hot, I'm very sweaty, and the lighting is horrendous. But I have an update for you. Huge shout out to both Phil, aka the coder, and Andrew Paul for using your guide, but man, I'm so happy. It seems to be going through. As long as it all does go through, I'll explain everything at the end of the video. I can't believe this works, man. So happy. Well, this is the furthest it's got, so this is a very good sign. I've just hooked up the controller, pressing A. Oh my God, it looks like it's working. Let me just rush through the setup and I'll get back to you guys in a sec. All right, everything seems okay. We're gonna give FIFA a nice little update, but the disc seems to be reading no issues at all. It's relatively quiet. And we're just now going to perform an update. Just before I wrap up, I'm going to give this a little clean, get rid of this glue-like substance here with some isopropyl alcohol, and just give it an overall clean and a bit of a good old dusting. Everything is working absolutely fine. I've cleaned the Xbox now as well. The update went through perfectly and we managed to play a game of FIFA. I left the console on for about an hour or so to fully install the game and give it a test run, and we had no issues. I was able to connect to Wi-Fi, I was able to use my Ethernet cable, the output was 1080p, the fan was relatively quiet, all the USB ports worked. Trust me, I tried enough with the memory stick. So I can just confirm it was a hard drive issue. These hard drive issues are becoming very, very common. Now, we're about to get into the reason as to why it happened and why my fix didn't work. There's a very awesome, informative YouTuber called Andrew Paul. I've only personally recently discovered him, and I've been binging a fair few of his videos. In this video specifically, which was released on July 14th, 2021, he explains how to replace upgrade an Xbox One hard drive using Windows, and it fixes error E101 200 203 305 etc. This guide is updated, so he does have another video, but this one is from March 7th, 2018. I'm going to try and explain this the best I can, and I hope you guys can stay with me because I struggle to stay with myself. In a nutshell, Andrew basically explains how you clean a hard drive, whether that be from a Windows PC or a PS4 or another console, and he explains it brilliantly. So I followed these instructions to clean the disk, and it came back as unallocated, which is how exactly I thought it should be. So when I had this unallocated hard drive disk and I was putting it into my Xbox, and then I was using the OSU1 file, which is on a memory stick, it was just going straight back to the troubleshoot screen instantly, not even getting to 1%. But what I noticed was that it was creating the partitions on the drive that was required for the Xbox. I think it's like 5 different partitions that actually get created. So it's creating the partitions on the Xbox, and then boom, it would just go straight back to troubleshoot. And as I said in this video, I tried this multiple times and it just wasn't working. I then went to Andrew's old video, so the one in March 2018, where there was a script that he told people to download. And this script, in a nutshell, creates the partitions on the drive ready to plug into the Xbox. It's a very simple script, and it literally just runs through it and it goes boom, 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 brings up a load of like format disk errors, etc. You just cancel out of them, you let them do its thing, and then you take the hard drive, you put it into your Xbox, and then you run the update. Now, another side note, I wouldn't have actually gone out of my way to do this if it wasn't for Phil, aka the coder. I saw this video from March 2018 and I thought, there's a new one, so clearly this doesn't work anymore for whatever reason. But with my specific E101 error, this worked the charm. I reached out to Phil via email and I just said, Phil, mate, I'm struggling. If you do have any advice for me, that would be fantastic. If not, no worries. And the legend himself replied probably about 5 minutes later and suggested like a couple of options, and this was one of them. He said, have you tried downloading I think it was like the formatting script for the Xbox One? And in my head I was like, I've seen that on the video from Andrew Paul from previous, but I never give it a go because there's that new video. Lo and behold, we tried it, we ran the script, and that's why the Xbox is working. And it obviously goes without saying, a massive thank you to both Andrew Paul and the coder. Andrew, for your amazing tutorials that you put online for free, and the coder for your amazing free advice you didn't have to give me. I'll leave a link to both of their channels down below in the description. This is exactly what this channel is about. I did not know the fix, but I used my initiative to reach out to people and do a bit of online research to fix an Xbox One. If I can do it, you can do it. Trust me. You best believe there'll be an update video telling you how much profit I made on this Xbox. But for this video in particular, I really, really hope you enjoyed. If you did, make sure you hit that thumbs up button. Our last Xbox video done ridiculously well. I'm literally blown away by the support. Subscribe to the channel if you are new around here. Make sure to ding dong that little notification bell so you get notified of when I post videos. As always, I hope you have an absolutely amazing, fantastic weekend. And I can't wait to see you guys in the next one. Peace.